Have you ever waved at someone and noticed the skin on the back of your upper arm continuing to move even after your arm stops? Many people assume this is simply a cosmetic issue or an unavoidable part of getting older. In reality, the story is often more complex. Loose tissue on the back of the upper arm can develop for several reasons, including loss of muscle tone, age-related changes in skin elasticity, reduced collagen production, inactivity, and changes in body composition. While it is common, it is not something you have to ignore. After more than 15 years of working with patients, I've found that many people focus entirely on body weight while overlooking what is happening underneath the skin. The firmness of your arms depends not only on fat levels, but also on muscle strength, connective tissue health, circulation, and overall physical activity. To understand why this area changes over time, let's look at the anatomy. The upper arm consists of several layers. First is the skin. Beneath the skin lies subcutaneous fat, the layer of fat directly under the skin. Under that are connective tissues and fascia, which help support and organize the structures beneath. Finally, there are the muscles, including the triceps, which run along the back of the upper arm and are responsible for straightening the elbow. One reason this area often becomes loose is that the triceps receive far less stimulation in daily life than many people realize. Most routine activities involve pulling, carrying, typing, or holding objects, which primarily engage the muscles on the front of the arm and upper body. Without regular resistance training, the triceps gradually lose strength and volume, making the tissue on the back of the arm appear softer and less supported. At the same time, aging affects the skin itself. Collagen and elastin, two proteins responsible for skin firmness and elasticity, naturally decline over time. As these structural proteins decrease, the skin becomes less able to remain tight against the underlying tissues. Circulation also plays an important role. Regular movement helps deliver oxygen and nutrients to tissues while supporting normal fluid balance. When an area remains relatively inactive for long periods, circulation may become less efficient, which can contribute to a feeling of heaviness or softness in the tissue. This is why focusing only on fat loss rarely produces the results people expect. Even when body weight decreases, the appearance of the upper arms may not change significantly if muscle mass, skin quality, and overall conditioning are not addressed at the same time. One simple technique that may help improve awareness and circulation in the area is gentle self-massage. Using your fingers, lightly lift and roll small sections of skin and soft tissue along the back of the upper arm. The goal is not to create pain or bruising, but to encourage movement of the tissues and increase local blood flow. Some areas may feel more sensitive than others, particularly if they have not been regularly stimulated. While massage alone will not transform the appearance of the arms, it can be a useful addition to a broader strategy that includes strength training, regular movement, proper nutrition, adequate protein intake, and maintaining a healthy body composition. The key takeaway is simple. Loose upper arm tissue is rarely caused by a single factor. It is usually the result of changes in muscle mass, connective tissue, skin elasticity, and activity levels working together. Understanding the real causes allows you to focus on solutions that support long-term improvement, rather than chasing quick fixes. One of the goals of gentle tissue massage is to improve mobility between the layers beneath the skin. Over time, inactivity, aging, and changes in connective tissue can reduce how freely these layers move against one another. By regularly stimulating the area, you may help encourage circulation and improve tissue flexibility. As blood flow increases, oxygen and nutrients are delivered more efficiently to the skin and underlying tissues. This supports the normal function of cells responsible for maintaining connective tissue health, including fibroblasts, which play an important role in collagen production. Collagen is one of the key structural proteins that helps give skin its strength and firmness. If you practice gentle massage consistently, you may notice that areas that initially felt tender or sensitive gradually become more comfortable over the following weeks. That can be a sign that the tissues are adapting to regular movement and stimulation. Consistency is far more important than intensity. If you have a willing partner, another option is a technique commonly known as skin rolling. This involves gently lifting and rolling the skin between the fingers to encourage mobility of the superficial tissues. Some people find certain areas surprisingly sensitive at first, especially if those tissues have received very little attention over the years. As always, the goal is gentle stimulation, not pain. However, improving the appearance of the back of the arms requires more than massage alone. The second part of the strategy focuses on strengthening the triceps, the large muscle located on the back of the upper arm. For many people, the triceps are undertrained. Daily activities often rely more heavily on the muscles at the front of the body, while the triceps receive relatively little direct stimulation. Over time, reduced muscle mass and tone can make the overlying tissue appear softer and less supported. One of the most effective exercises for targeting the triceps is the close grip push-up. The key is keeping your elbows close to your sides throughout the movement. This places greater emphasis on the triceps and less on the chest muscles. If a traditional push-up feels too challenging, start with a wall push-up. As your strength improves, progress to an elevated surface such as a countertop, sturdy bench, or chair before eventually moving to floor-based variations. This gradual progression follows a fundamental principle of exercise science known as progressive overload, slowly increasing the challenge placed on the muscles over time. As tricep strength improves, the muscles provide greater support to the tissues above them. Combined with regular activity, this can contribute to a firmer and more toned appearance over time. The third component is stretching. While stretching alone will not tighten loose skin, it can help maintain flexibility, improve comfort, and support healthy movement patterns. A simple tricep stretch is easy to perform. Raise one arm overhead and bend the elbow so your hand moves behind your head. With the opposite hand, gently guide the elbow backward until you feel a comfortable stretch along the back of the upper arm. Hold the position without bouncing and breathe normally. When combined with strength training, regular movement, adequate protein intake, hydration, and healthy lifestyle habits, these simple practices can help improve the appearance and function of the upper arms over time. The important thing to remember is that lasting change rarely comes from a single treatment, device, or quick fix. It comes from consistently supporting the health of your muscles, skin, and connective tissues through evidence-based habits that work together. Your arms are sagging for a reason, and it's not just aging. Dr. Robert Ben. You raise your hand to wave at someone, and the skin on the back of your upper arm keeps moving long after your arm has stopped. Most people laugh it off. They call it bat wings, blame aging, blame genetics, or assume it's simply extra fat. But after more than 15 years of studying how the body changes with age, I can tell you something surprising. Loose, sagging tissue on the back of the arms is often not a fat problem at all. It's frequently a sign of declining connective tissue quality, reduced muscle support, poor circulation, and fluid stagnation beneath the skin. And if those processes are occurring in your arms, they may also be happening elsewhere in your body. The good news? In many cases, you can begin improving these underlying factors naturally without expensive procedures, injections, or cosmetic treatments. Today I'm going to explain exactly what causes upper arm sagging, why it becomes more common after 40, and the simple daily techniques that may help improve tissue firmness, circulation, and muscle tone. Before we begin, subscribe to the channel and leave a like. It helps us continue producing evidence-based health content that focuses on prevention, not just treatment. Let's start by understanding what is actually happening beneath the skin. Most people imagine the arm as a simple combination of skin and fat. In reality, several important layers work together. First comes the skin itself. Beneath the skin lies subcutaneous fat, the layer that provides cushioning and energy storage. Under that sits a thin but critically important connective tissue layer called fascia. Think of fascia as the body's internal support network. It helps tissues glide smoothly, maintains structural organization, and contributes to overall firmness and mobility. When circulation remains healthy, these layers move freely against one another. But over time, especially with inactivity, poor circulation, hormonal changes, and aging, the tissues can become less mobile. Blood flow slows. Fluid begins accumulating between cells. Collagen production declines. The connective tissues become thicker, stiffer, and less elastic. This process contributes to the loose, heavy appearance many people notice in the back of their upper arms. The reason this area is particularly vulnerable is surprisingly simple. Most daily activities rely heavily on the muscles at the front of the arm. The muscle at the back of the arm, the triceps, often receives very little meaningful stimulation during normal daily life. As muscle activity decreases, circulation declines. As circulation declines, tissue quality begins to deteriorate. Over time, gravity takes advantage of that weakness. The result is the familiar sagging appearance that so many people struggle with. And this is where most people make a critical mistake. They assume they need to burn fat, but the issue is often much more complex than fat alone. The real targets are tissue mobility, circulation, connective tissue health, and muscular support. When those factors improve together, the appearance of the arm can improve as well. Now, there is one more factor that deserves serious attention because it affects far more than the appearance of your arms. Your body functions as a connected system. When connective tissue begins weakening in one area, it rarely remains isolated to that single location. Over the years, I have noticed a consistent pattern. People who develop loose, sagging tissue on the back of the arms often begin noticing similar changes elsewhere, along the jawline, around the neck, across the abdomen, and sometimes even in the veins of the legs. These changes may appear unrelated, but they often share a common biological foundation: declining collagen quality and weakened connective tissue support. One important contributor to this process is vitamin D deficiency. Most people associate vitamin D exclusively with bone health. In reality, vitamin D influences many biological processes throughout the body, including tissue repair, immune function, muscle performance, and collagen metabolism. Collagen is the structural protein responsible for helping skin, ligaments, tendons, and blood vessels maintain their strength and elasticity. When vitamin D levels remain low for extended periods, the body's ability to support healthy connective tissue may be compromised. The result can be slower tissue repair, reduced skin firmness, weaker structural support, and accelerated age-related changes. What makes this particularly important is how common vitamin D deficiency has become. People who spend most of their time indoors, older adults, individuals living in regions with limited sunlight, and those with darker skin pigmentation are especially vulnerable. The encouraging news is that vitamin D status can be measured easily with a routine blood test. The test is called a 25-hydroxy vitamin D level. If your levels are low, discuss the results with your healthcare provider and determine an appropriate strategy for correction. Avoid self-prescribing extremely high doses. More is not always better, and vitamin D supplementation should be guided by testing and professional advice. Age also matters. Beginning around age 40, the body's natural collagen production gradually slows. After 50, the effects become increasingly noticeable. Skin loses elasticity more quickly, recovery takes longer, and connective tissues require greater support to maintain their structure. That is why early intervention matters. The sooner you begin supporting circulation, muscle tone, mobility, and nutritional status, the easier it is to maintain healthy tissue over time. So what is the practical takeaway? Keep it simple. First, perform gentle manual tissue work on the back of the upper arm for several minutes each day to improve mobility and circulation. Second, strengthen the triceps using a progressive approach that matches your current fitness level. Wall push-ups, incline push-ups, and narrow grip push-ups can all be effective starting points. Third, stretch the muscles before and after training to maintain flexibility and support recovery. Fourth, use controlled arm swings as part of your warm-up routine to encourage healthy movement through the tissues. And finally, have your vitamin D level checked if you suspect deficiency or have risk factors. No expensive devices, no miracle creams, no complicated routines. Just consistent daily habits that support the biology your body already uses to repair and maintain itself. Your skin is not the problem. It is simply reflecting what is happening beneath the surface. When you improve circulation, strengthen the supporting muscles, and support connective tissue health, the benefits extend far beyond appearance. If you found this information helpful, subscribe to Dr. Robert Ben, leave a like, and share this video with someone who may benefit from it. Small daily actions, repeated consistently, often produce the most meaningful long-term results.